Hey, guys, this is Onisha Biggs of the Code of Pharmacy podcast. Today, I have a super awesome guest. You might already know her, you might not, but if you don't, you are certainly in for a treat today because she's going to be giving us a lot of insight on her path, the industry, being a pharmacy technician is going to be super awesome. All right. So I want to introduce to you guys Mrs. Ernika, and you might know her as Pharmacy Tech Love right here on YouTube. So Ernika, go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience and, just give us a little insight on you, Ernika.
Hey, you guys, I'm Ernika. You've probably seen me on YouTube as Pharmacy Tech Love. That is my little signature doing that. I'm a pharmacy technician of 13 years, partnered with Miss Onisha Biggs. Reach out to her and she added me to the team.
Love it. Yes, she is, guys. And listen, she does more. And that's what I really want to get into, Ernika, on this interview. You're more than just a pharmacy technician, though I love watching your videos because it's very entertaining because you show the journey, you show the real stuff about being a pharmacy technician, like getting fired, not having the job, all that stuff. You've had some very interesting content that I love, but you're more than just a pharmacy tech. You have a YouTube channel. You also teach, right? You're also a professor at an institution already. Is that correct?
Yes, I teach here where I live at a local college, and I've been doing that for maybe, I think, 7 years now. Awesome. And it's so strange how I got started.
Yeah.
I was just at work one day and a fax came through seeking teachers. I had no experience at all teaching, but I knew that I like to talk and I like to meet new people. So I simply took the fax off the faxing machine. I gave them a call. They said, well, just send us your resume. So I did. We had a phone interview. Evidently, they liked everything that I had to say. By the weekend, they sent me all of my books. So I just stayed at home all weekend and just studied the entire information, the entire book. I just studied that entire book that whole weekend. And by Monday at 6:30 that evening, I was in a classroom teaching. And it was just so different because I felt like I could do this as a career. And so that's exactly what I decided to do. So I was at a college out of town. It was maybe about 45 minutes away from my home. So then I decided, well, I need to get somewhere local where I don't have to drive so far and come home at 10 o'clock or 10:30 at night. So a position came up here locally where I live and I applied and she took me on and I've been there maybe almost 2 years. So I taught out of town for maybe 3 to 4 years. And then now I'm here where I live. I've been here for 2 years at this college. And every semester, I mean, when you teach, this is something that you have to change up every semester because you have to tweak everything for your students. You have to change everything for your students in order for them to learn better. You can't teach. I don't like to bring my students in thinking that they know anything. I look at them as though they are a clean slate and they know nothing. And I start from the bottom and I work my way up. And that's my form of teaching. That's how I teach.
Love that. So let's back up just a little bit. I want to know, okay, you've been doing this, you've been a pharmacy technician for 13 years.
Yes.
And you've been teaching for how long?
Since 2004. Since 2004. So that may be a little bit, no. Since 2000, oh gosh, I can't remember. I've been teaching six or 7 years, and it could be longer. It could possibly be longer.
So when you were teaching, or right before you started teaching, you said you get this fax. Where were you working at when you got a fax that was for teachers? Like, where were you working at the time?
I was working at a clinic. The pharmacy was actually housed inside of a clinic.
Yeah,
and so the information just came through on the fax machine, and I started grabbing. I read it, and I was like, "What's up with this?" So I showed my coworkers, and they were like, "Man," I was like, "Well."
So did you leave the clinic? That's what I want to know. Like, were you like, I'm going to teach now?
No, I've never had one job. I'm like now I don't work one job. I've always had 2 to 3 jobs, and that's just what keeps me busy. You know, when I first had my daughter, I worked one job until she turned around 2. And I was like, I gotta get back to working. So I just like to work 2 to 3 jobs. It's just my thing.
That is interesting. So when you took the exam, I'm assuming you had to get certified, right? Because you've been a tech for a little while, but you had to get certified. Okay. When you first took the exam, like around what time was this? Was that like back in, let's see, 13 years ago?
I became certified.
That was the early
2008. 2008 is when I became certified, and it was difficult. I advise
it was hard then
to take a class. That's what I suggest. That's why I always tell my students to sign up through Pharmacy Tech Lessons, because trying to do this on your own is hard. I don't suggest that to anyone, because there's so much terminology that you don't know. There's the math that you don't know, and you don't want to get into the pharmacy and just try to guess at how to do the math. This is something that you must know. So I always suggest to take a class. That's my suggestion.
So for your journey, did you take the self-study route like back then, like in 2008? Did you like study on your own? Did you use resources? You did the self-study route.
I studied at home. And I didn't pass.
Wow. And so you have experience in that.
I didn't have any experience. I started working at Walgreens in 2004. That's when I started working at Walgreens. That's where I'm getting the 2004 from. I started working at Walgreens in 2004. I started out just at the front counter. Then I moved to the beauty department. And then one day they were shorthanded in the pharmacy, and they were like, "Hey, can you come help us out?" So I was like,
wow.
Okay. So I started helping them out, and they just kept calling me back there. I said, well, I may as well become certified. So that's how everything began, is just me helping out in the pharmacy. And so I just decided, well, since I'm back here, let me get certified. So that's where it started. You know what?
You don't know how many times I hear people say they were working in the front of the retail store, and they were like shorthanded or something in the back in the pharmacy. And that's how like they got their quote unquote their first break in pharmacy. Or they noticed what they were doing in the pharmacy back there, and they're like, I think I might want to do that. So that's really, really amazing. Like a lot of people that got into retail pharmacy anyway didn't just start in retail pharmacy. They started doing like working in the front of the store, or just being like a service person in the store, and then they end up in the pharmacy and like, oh, I like this. So what attracted you to it in the beginning? Like what attracted you to working in the pharmacy?
The steady pace. In Walgreens, there was never time to even have a conversation. So to me, it's all about learning something new at all times. If you are a person that gravitates to wanting to know something new, then pharmacy is the way you want to go, especially in retail and even in the hospital setting. Because in the hospital setting, you're going to go down to the ER, you're going to see different cases that are going on, you're going to see different patients, nurses, doctors, babies, you're going to see so much. But in all honesty, I always tell my students to start out in retail, because if you can handle retail, after that, you got it. You got it after retail. So let that be your
sure. That is a nugget right there. That's a nugget. Guys, listen, if you listen to this, I hope you're taking notes, because that is a nugget. If you can survive in retail,
You got it made after that. You can do
like, you got it made.
And
Hospital is gonna be a breeze. So like, have you worked in any other aspects of pharmacy other than retail?
I'm in the hospital setting right now.
Okay, I love it, love it. So, okay, that transition from retail to hospital. At what point did you like? What's the bridge? What's the story there? What happened? What occurred?
Well, what made me change jobs? Well, I left one job because remember I made the video about that I got fired from a particular company, which I felt, and I always tell my students, don't ever work at a job or at a pharmacy where you cannot verify the patient's information. That is a no. If you can't verify their address, phone number, date of birth, you need to hightail it out of that pharmacy as fast as you can, because you're setting yourself up for failure. And that's the type of facility I was working in. If you have a Jane Doe and you have another Jane Doe in the system, how are you going to differentiate the two? There's no possible way unless you gather some vital pieces of information. Right. But the way that I transitioned into the hospital setting, I just applied at a local hospital. I got the job, and that's where I began in the hospital pharmacy. It is a transition. It's totally different from retail, because in the hospital setting, you're not seeing customers. Customers are not coming in because this is an inpatient hospital or inpatient facility or institution, however you would like to say that. But when you have inpatient patients, there's no communication between you and them. It is always the nurses with the patients or the doctors with the patients. So your main thing in the hospital setting is making sure that you deliver all of the medication to the nursing units for the patients. And that's the main aspect of a hospital pharmacy. So you'll basically just be delivering medications. And sometimes you have to deliver those medications to the point of where you have to literally run because you are saving those people's lives. I also work in the IV room to where I have to make medications. And if my technician or the pharmacy technician is away from being in the central pharmacy, I may have to leave out of the IV room completely garbed and have to run that medication down to the ER. But that's just what you have to do in order to save someone's life, because what if that was your mother? What if that was your father? You know, you would want someone to take that into consideration about your family as well. But it's a transition. It's a transition for sure. Definitely.
Wow. I love that you gave those differences on the two. And I think that technicians, that's really, really something to understand, or aspiring technicians. If you want to be in this field, it's really, really important. And that's why I like bringing on experienced people, you know, because it's important to understand what you're getting into, or which parts of it you want and what parts you don't.
That's
and
right.
you be able to see if it's a good fit. Because when you just mentioned, I've worked in hospital too, and when you just mentioned you having to run, it's like I had a flashback.
Oh, really?
I worked in a children's hospital, and so it was like babies, it was children type situations where you would have to run, or somebody or a child codes out, what we call code. Yeah. And that basically means like they're going out, like they're dying, right? Yeah. And they need what's called a crash cart very fast. They need it like now. And so it's literally can be life or death situations at times. And if you don't have the mindset to really want to do that, then that's something to consider. And I've hardly heard people give that scope of pharmacy, but it's very much so real. It's very much so real. So I love that. I love that you highlighted that. Now, so your initial motivation for wanting to go to hospital, was it the pay? Was it the workload that you were hearing about? Like, what was the initial, like, if you could say just one thing that made you want to transition and cross over, what would that one thing be?
I knew that I wanted to do sterile IV. I left a pharmacy because I knew that they were going to be closing down. So what I love about retail is that you have floater pharmacists. And you guys, if you can chat with a floater pharmacist, do that, because they have such great information and they don't mind sharing it. And what I mean by a floater pharmacist are the ones that come in, you know, they may stay for 3 months and they leave out.
Right.
So that's what I came in contact with, was a Florida pharmacist. And he said, Arnika, you should be a sterile IV pharmacy technician. He told me the website. So what I did was, I said, well, I'm not just going to stop there. So I went down to Houston, and I became a sterile IV pharmacy technician, a compounding, and also a chemotherapy pharmacy technician. Because the older I get, which I'm trying to wait until I'm out of my childbearing years. I'm trying to wait.
Right.
And then I want to get into chemotherapy. But my main focus for wanting to go into the hospital is to do sterile IVs, and that's exactly what I do. So if you can just upgrade yourself at all times. That's what I would like to say to the future pharmacy technicians. Just keep pushing forward, keep moving forward. And there's so many certifications now that you can earn through PTCB. Get those certifications if you can. Why not? They're going to add to your resume,
right?
And also add to you becoming more hireable and desirable. So that's one thing I want to let them know as well.
I love that. So you just had the mindset of advancement. Now, here's what I want to propose the question to you, because I know you've had a lot of encounters with students, and encounters with pharmacy technicians, like you said, pharmacists. What would you say? Because a lot of people, they want to advance, but it's kind of hard for me to wrap my head around it. So maybe you can give some insight here, and even to the audience, if someone out there has this mindset. What would you say to a person that want to advance, but they don't? They say, Arnika, Coda Pharmacy Podcast, I hear you, but I don't really want to invest all that money in getting more certifications, or in getting, like Arnika, you said, going to school, or I don't really want to invest my money in that, but I do want to advance. Like, what would you say to a person with that type of mindset? Like, what, from your experience?
Well, PTCB has it now to where it's not as expensive. When I went to Houston, it was $300 per class, but now PTCB, they're offering certain courses to where they're just $89. And I have all of those courses listed on my YouTube channel. I've done just about every single one except for the most recent one that they came out with, which is the immunization vaccine certification. But almost every one of those is $89. And you can work your way up to be an advanced certified pharmacy technician. And that's the one that's actually free. And I was so shocked that was free to achieve that. But all you need is 3 certifications to be an advanced certified pharmacy technician. So it's really not that expensive. And don't forget about on-the-job training. I know at Walgreens, you can become a lead, I believe a lead pharmacy technician, and that's at no cost, I don't think. So it all depends on where you work. If you know that you want to move up, don't go to a mom and pop pharmacy. Don't do that. Go to a corporation like Walgreens or CVS or something like that if you want to move up. But that's my suggestion. Just start small. Just start at that $89 fee and take whatever course you like. And like I said, they're all listed on my YouTube channel. So that's where I would begin. If I had to start all the way back over, I would go through PTCB. But of course, you have to become certified first before you can take these courses. So
right. So like, okay, I got it. Okay. You definitely would have invested in yourself. Like, even just like you said, starting out small. So I want to know, what would you tell a person that says, I want to invest nothing, I just want to advance? I know it sounds funny, but this is like, these are real case scenarios. There is a group of people out there, and I have my opinion on it, but I really want to hear from another perspective, right? Or I want to hear, what would your answer be? Like, I want to advance, but I don't want to pay nothing. Like, I don't want to invest anything in myself.
Goodness.
It's like crickets.
That's kind of
insane. It's tough.
Yeah, that's kind of difficult. Maybe you can, speak to, if you're already, are you meaning if it's a person that's already certified?
I'm not even certified. Now, here's the thing. Now, I will say this for my certified technicians that are already, one thing I will give them.
Okay.
They are the types to go and get more advancement for themselves, right? They're already certified. They're making more money. They're working in a pharmacy. But for the person that is uncertified, is wanting that advanced pharmacy technician goal, they're saying, I don't want to go to school for 4 years, but I do want to do this as a pharmacy tech, and I do want to make $20, $30 an hour. Like, what would you tell that person that says, I'm not certified, but I don't want to invest in myself?
But they want to become certified.
Right.
But they just don't have the funds for it. No?
I'm gonna say this. It's a lot of different ways this could be framed. But I'm just gonna give the scenario of this. They just don't want to invest in themselves. So like I just don't want to pay. I just don't want to pay to advance.
Oh, you mean just financially? They want to advance, they want to grow, but maybe they just don't have the income to grow. Maybe. I'm
not gonna throw the reason why. I'm gonna leave that up to the person. I'm just gonna say they say I don't want to invest in myself.
Oh man, that's
whatever the reason is.
We all should be elevating it, especially. I mean, we have 15-year-olds that's in college now. I mean, we should all want to achieve something better at all points in our life. God, that's difficult, because it almost sounds like that person has kind of given up on themselves, and maybe they need some motivation or some self motivation. But you have to have some form of willpower to want to do more and to want to have more, especially if you have children, or if you just want better things out of life. That's a very difficult question, because it just sounds as though that individual just needs a good push and some motivation. And there's a lot of videos on YouTube, with motivational speakers, but those are the type of individuals that I pull to the side, and I'm asking, hey, what's going on? How can I help you? What can I do as an individual to help you succeed and to help you grow? Because you have those individuals with that mindset that thinks, hey, I'm content with sometimes doing nothing. But you got to get out of that. You got to get out of that mindset, and you got to grow, and you got to go for sure. You definitely got to grow,
and you got to go. I love that. So what are some steps that you would give a person who is there? Like, speak to that. What are some steps that you would tell them to really just initiate? How would you tell them to get out of that? Like, what is give me the first 3 steps that they would need to do
to get out of that type of mindset?
Yeah. To like really push forward out of that and say, you know what? Okay, I'm going to do the deal. I'm going to go ahead and take myself serious, and I'm going to move forward and get the results. Like, what are the first 3 steps to get out of that type of rut?
Well, now I have to go into mother mode.
Well, go ahead. You are a mother. This is who you are. But Ernika, like, this is going to help so many people. And I know we have people in our audience that are kind of sitting on the fence, and they're like, I want to advance. I want to do that, but I just don't know if I want to like invest in myself. I don't know if I want to go that far with it. I don't know if it's worth all of that. You know what I mean?
Goodness. Well, what if it were my child, mm-hmm. and she had that type of mindset, I would definitely have to sit her down and let's have a one-on-one conversation. And right. I guess the first step, or the first within that first step, the first question I would have to ask you is exactly what's going on to where you don't want to move forward. I need to know that for myself. What's going on with you to where you don't want to push forward? Okay, that's number one. We need to get to the root of the problem and see, why do you not want to push forward? And I've been there with my daughter, you know, I've been there with her to where she didn't want to do anything. But I feel like now we're talking to adults because you have to be over 18
right
in order to become certified, or you know, if you're in high school, you know, your parents should be pushing you. But now I'm gonna say step number 2, you know, for me, if I was speaking to an adult, the first one was asking, you know, what's the problem?
What's the problem? Okay.
Yes. What is the initial problem as to why you do not want to move forward? Number 2, you need to make out a list, okay, a detailed list of possibly the things that you want to accomplish, or even a vision board. You know, me and a couple of my friends, we have done that. Create a vision board. It takes $5 to create a vision board, okay? Create that and exactly see where you want to possibly go, okay? Once we've gotten past step 2 and we figured out why you don't want to move forward, now that we've discussed that, now that we've talked about that, now let's see exactly where you want to go. I'm trying to actually put myself in this situation.
Oh yeah.
Because this is what I would do. Or either if you don't want to do a vision board, write some things down that you want to accomplish. And you can Google these things, you can YouTube these things, and see and try to and sometimes you have to force yourself to do things, because I do that on a daily basis. I force myself to do things that I really don't feel like doing. I feel like laying around all the time, but I have to force myself to get up and make it happen.
Absolutely.
And you're gonna have to do that. You're gonna have to force yourself to do things, okay? I'm trying to think what other advice can I possibly give. Speak to your peers.
I was thinking that one, but I was like, I can't give my opinion. I really want to hear from you raw, but that's a big one.
Yeah, yes, because my daughter, sometimes she does not listen to me. Sometimes she does not want my opinion, but the same thoughts can come from me, and the same thoughts can come from her friends, and you know, she'll definitely listen to them. So don't just stay in your circle, because sometimes the people that you grew up with, they have the same type of mindset that you have. Get out of your circle and start speaking with other people that where you share a like mind. You know, you may come across someone that says, oh, I don't want to do anything, but hey, let's get together and let's start doing this, let's start doing that. And that's exactly what me and my friends, we do now. We try to start businesses and we talk amongst each other. Just get around a
whole different network,
a whole different atmosphere.
Yes. Absolutely. I think you really just gave a formula. First of all, it's the self-talk. Why are you not moving? What is the problem? What is the issue that's occurring? The second thing would be, you said that it was
write a plan. It's almost like a mission,
Cast a vision for yourself. Yes, cast a vision for yourself. And then after that, you said you got to just do it, basically. But then even after that, the what's going to cultivate you just doing it is going to be the environment and the circle of people that you're around. And I found that to be very true. Even when we see students who are studying for this exam, just the environment, it just changes everything. It changes everything.
That's right.
With studying. So, and that's some really good stuff that you said there. I'm taking mental notes on things that you're saying. Like, I'm thinking about different, because you can find yourself in different ruts. I've been in myself. You can be in mental ruts, and it's like, okay, what are you going to do about it? Okay, let's identify what the issue is. Like, why don't you feel like you're worthy enough to invest in yourself?
Yes.
Like even $80. I mean, $80. Okay, I personally think I'm worth way more than $80, but it's like when you don't even feel like you can invest in yourself, like you have to identify why. I think that was very powerful what you said in the first beginning. You got to do self-talk and ask yourself why. Why not?
That's right.
What's going on? So that's really, really awesome. Really, really good. So now you're giving a lot of mindset stuff. You're helping a lot of people right now.
Hope so.
What would you say, like working in the hospital now, you're a professor now, you're teaching. If you were to go into another avenue of pharmacy from this point, what would it be?
To be a pharmacist. To be a pharmacist.
Wow.
It's just it costs so much to be a pharmacist. And I'm not sure if I want to owe someone that amount of money. $150,000 is a lot of money to go to school, which I'm still considering it. And I just can't make the decision on if that's what I want to do, because I'm purchasing a home. My daughter's still at home and she's in college. So I have to put all of that into perspective. So that's what I would do. I would become a pharmacist. I would.
Got it. Awesome. And what attracts you? What about a pharmacist do you like? Because when I started, I thought I wanted to be a pharmacist. But when I started in pharmacy as a tech, I was like, nah, I don't want to be a pharmacist. So what makes you want to be a pharmacist? What would make you want to go that way?
Because they are doctors now. They are doctors, for sure. All of them now have to come out of school and they have the doctor attached to their name. They are a doctor of pharmacy. And I would love to hold that title, for sure.
Interesting. So what would it mean to you to have that title? What would that do for you? Like, what would it mean?
That's like a dream come true for me. I remember being in the 6th grade, okay, and my teacher had a layout of a heart that on a rug that was dissected. It was just a rug laid out, and that's when I knew what I wanted to become at that point. And she just showed us all the ventricles and arteries and veins and everything, how the heart pumps. And I was like, this is it. I knew at that point that I wanted to become a doctor. But things happened and life happened. Let me tell you a little bit about my story, okay? There's a lot of young people that go through a lot of things in life.
Right.
And it changes the course of their life. That's why I was saying you have to push through it all, even through what you're going through. My mother and my father, they were in a car accident when I was younger. I was 2 months old when I lost my mother to a car accident. She was 16. She had my sister at 14, my brother at 15, and me at 16. And her and my dad got into a car accident and my mother passed away. So I lived with my grandmother, and I thought that she was my mother at the time. So I just called her, Mom. And so when she passed away, I was 17 in high school. So I'm alone in a 5-bedroom house, paying bills, working full time at a fast food company, paying all the bills in a 5-bedroom home, living alone. That's why I'm telling you, you have to push through no matter your circumstance. And that's what I did. I had to put myself through high school. No one woke me up. No one washed clothes. No one did any of this. That's why I'm telling you, if you're out there and you feel like giving up, or you feel like you don't want to invest in yourself, you have to force yourself to push through. You don't want to be that person at the end of the day, 50 years old, and you're still at the bottom. You have to pull yourself together mentally, emotionally, spiritually sometimes. And you have to pull yourself together and put yourself together, and you just have to push through it all. You have to climb out of the mud if you have to, and you have to pull yourself. No one has to do this for you, but you have to do it for yourself in order to be successful, in order to get out of whatever situation that you're in. But the main thing is just don't give up. You're gonna fall. I promise you're gonna fall. You're gonna have people that's gonna pull you down. I mean, pull you down tough. But no matter what, you still have to get up on your 2 feet, and you have to just keep pushing no matter what, at all costs. So I know that there are a lot of young adults that are struggling. You're struggling, and I know that. But no matter what, no matter who keeps pulling you down, no matter who keeps tearing you down, keep going. Keep going. Just don't stop. Just don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Just don't stop.
You just gave a major key to advancing in pharmacy. You just can't stop.
No.
I hear a lot of people, they say, like, my coworkers though, they're so bad. So much politics at the hospital, and And I just like, I can't get out of the place, but like, that's still not an excuse.
No, it's
That's
not.
really what I'm hearing from you. You're just eliminating all excuses.
Don't
Still
stop.
in advance.
Yeah, that's right. I get comments on my YouTube channel in the comment section. They'll say, "Oh, I just quit. I just quit at the pharmacy," and I'm so mad with them. I'll let them know. I get so upset with them sometimes. Why didn't you email me before you made this decision, or why didn't you let me know? Because we could have talked through this. And I do have a lot of people that email me and we talk about different things, and I just talk to them like I've been knowing. and it's nice to do that. I enjoy it. So if you ever get scared and you think about quitting your job, email me and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Like, more people are needed like this, and people who just have genuine hearts for people, who just want to help people through their journey and through their path and help them advance. And that's what we're all about. That's why we even have this podcast. That's what it's all about. It's about helping people advance.
That's right.
And that's really a lot of what I've gathered, even from your story today, your journey from first starting in pharmacy to getting the facts and becoming a teacher to working in the front of Walgreens and becoming a pharmacy technician. It's just, you got to keep progressing, and you got to keep wanting to advance and take advantage of, situations that are right in front of you. Like you said, get around your peers and connect with other people. It's just so much stuff that can be gleaned from this interview for sure, Ernika. And I really want to thank you for your time. Thank you for your contribution to the industry. Your channel is amazing. Thank you so much just for what you're contributing. And I want you to, there's two things I want you to do. One thing, I want you to share with the people your YouTube channel and where they can find you. Go ahead and plug that in there.
Okay. All right. You can find me at Pharmacy Tech Love. That's all you have to type in. It's just Pharmacy Tech Love. I have a bunch of different videos, a lot of different videos. I'm trying to give you a little bit of different content if I can, but I'm still plugging pharmacy in there because I don't want to bore, But come check out my channel. I'll be there. You can also email me. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you want to sign up for the program, and I will definitely get you on your way for sure.
Love that. And if you could leave with sharing one thing, like if there's one thing that you would tell somebody that says, I hear you, Ernika, but like, you just don't understand my situation. Like, I'm trying to advance, but you just don't understand my situation. What would you say to that person? If you could just speak to that one person that's just, they're in the brink of their journey, and it's like they're at the brink of giving up. Give us one thing that you would say to them today.
I would want to know, what would you have to lose if you move forward? What would you have to lose? That's what you have to ask yourself. What would you have to lose? Because if it's time, and you're, even if you're in your 40s, 50s, we have nothing but time. Why not? What do you have to lose? So just keep moving forward. Just don't give up. Moving forward.
Love that, guys. You heard it. Keep moving forward. Keep advancing. Count the cost, and connect with people who can like really help you.
That's right.
and invest in yourself. Ernika, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution today. This has been a wonderful interview. I've gotten a lot of insight from it. And as she said, guys, Ernika is actually, she stands by and even vouches for our program. I usually don't plug this, but she's one of the people that have supported us for a while now. And she definitely sends some awesome people our way for the program. So if you're not certified and you're interested in that too, then boom, just go over to Ernika. But we look forward to more content from you, Ernika. Thank you so much for your time. You've been super awesome today, and I know that our audience has gotten a lot of value from this. Keep doing what you're doing. Guys, this is going to be the end of the interview. I'm Onisha Biggs, and this is the Cult of Pharmacy podcast. with Miss Ernika of Pharmacy Tech Love. You guys have an awesome day.
Bye.